affirmative head nod or audible yes?
Yeah, sure.
Yes, I'm okay.
All right, Cheska, can you hit it?
Yep, it's recording.
All right. So first we can start with some introductions. My name is Mark. I'm the founder of Plants Without Borders. I've got my grower development team here, Carlos, Liza, Anna. My girlfriend, Cheska, she's one of the plants in the background, and she's been helping me out a lot with the plant industry and all that esoteric knowledge. And looks like we've got a couple of growers on the line as well. Tito, you want to start by introducing yourself?
Oh, yeah, sure, Mark. Hey, anyway, thank you, Mark and Plan Without Borders team. Yeah, this will be my first time talking in a lot of big growers, I think, in here, right? So, hi, my name is Tito. I'm from Bogor, Indonesia. Bogor is one of the city of the central of ornamental plants for years. And as you see, my background is my nursery, the newest nursery. So here, I'm working with Plant Without Borders and Mark, supplying some plants for United States and other countries as well. So it just started, but it's very good things, and look forward to work for it in the future. Thanks.
Thank you, Tito. Adriana.
Sorry, buddy?
Oh, I just said thank you.
Yeah, sure. Thank you to your team also and you.
All right, which grower wants to go next and introduce himself? Sandy?
Hi, Mark. I'm Sandy. I'm Tito's partner from Indonesia. So yeah, it's a pleasure to work with Tito as well and to know you as well.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Great to meet.
Yeah, probably I would like to say something about Sandy. So Sandy was my colleague in bank. So we are bankers that now become growers. Yeah, she and her husband will help me in this building a company that so we can make it short process for the phytosanitary certificate in the future, soon as possible. We will have that.
That's awesome. Can't wait for that.
Sure.
How about Iya? Is that how you say it? Aya? Okay. Adriana, are you there? All right, we'll come back to her then. So I'll go ahead and get started with my presentation. Give me a second while I share my screen here. So are you guys able to see everything?
Yeah, I can see that.
Okay, great. So here's the agenda of what we're going to be talking about today. Next, I'm going to get into who we are, what we do, and the opportunity that's in front of us, and some of the basics and step-by-step process of how it would actually work. We'll also be hearing from Tito, who will go into more detail. I know a lot of the growers want to get some specifics around the shipping process and the permitting process. So hopefully that'll be really helpful. And then we'll have an open discussion for any of the growers or even some of the other people on the line that want to ask questions or learn more. We're headquartered in the San Francisco Bay Area. We've gathered a collective of growers from Latin America, Southeast Asia, and our sales team is distributed in those geographies as well. We're in the process of getting our B Corp certification, and that's what you get to certify that you're making a social impact with your business, basically using business as a force for good. We want to provide growers with an opportunity to distribute their product in the United States while also sharing in the profit. We want trust to be built with the international ecosystem of growers, and part of that will be facilitating a knowledge sharing session every month, similar to this. We'll also be putting together contracts for the future delivery of products, which we think will really help reduce the risk for smaller growers and even larger growers. And lastly, we are an advocate for workers' rights, and we only source from ethically run nurseries and suppliers. I started this company because about 2 months ago, I was a member of one of these rare plant trading groups, and I saw that the admin had actually posted a rule saying that if you were from Indonesia, you couldn't message people directly. I thought that was super problematic and kind of weird that it was just right there. But just seeing that, I knew it was indicative of a larger problem. I did some more digging and found that this went back to even the days of NAFTA, where Mexico was exporting their vegetables to the United States, and people in the United States were saying, well, do they even take care of their plants correctly? Do they even have the resources to do the phytosanitary? And I think that's a really problematic belief that is pervasive in the United States that really limits the opportunities that others abroad have. And so now we're getting to why we're all gathered here today. The flower and ornamental plants market is growing at a rapid pace. The growth at 6.3%, that was projected even before COVID-19. And after COVID and the shutdowns happened, that greatly increased the demand for plants. Between 2013 and 2019, the amount of garden centers and nurseries more than doubled. And each one of those is a potential customer. The Google Trends data, which aggregates how many times people search for specific keywords, shows that plants are way more in demand, or at least of interest to people, than flowers. To me, that shows that there's growth happening in this industry and that new consumers are finding out about plants and then going out of their way to purchase them. This is opposed to flowers, where the market is pretty established and you're not seeing that same sort of hyper growth. And even the spike in COVID isn't a fad. There was a survey done of homeowners, and most of them continued to say that they're going to keep gardening even after the pandemic. Especially with the rare plant market, we've seen huge fluctuations in pricing. This Wall Street Journal article goes into detail about NSE Tropicals and how their founder is, selling cuttings for $10,000. To me, that looks like volatility. The increase in demand was also met with a decrease in supply because of all of the trade barriers and kind of logistics disasters that have been caused by the pandemic. And that's only going to mean higher prices for plants and thus plant material. After having conversations with growers in Latin America, Southeast Asia, and also nurseries here in the United States, I've identified a couple of barriers that both sides face. And as you can see, they're usually two sides of the same coin. One second, if somebody's joining. Okay. So history repeats itself. And if you look at Colombia in the 1970s, they were barely making any flowers. Flora America is the first company that went to Colombia and said, there's a lot of valuable resources here that we can use to create something that the consumers in the US want. And that's exactly the same thing that we're doing. And there's a whole compliance and permitting process that you have to go through to export, but it's all just a series of rules that you just need to follow. And we're happy to work with you to identify what they are and go through the process. So now I'll turn it over to Tito to talk about his background, how long he's been growing, and the process that he has to go through to prepare the plants and also get it certified by customs in Indonesia. Tito, want to take it away?
Yeah, sure, Mark. So anyway, Mark, Plants Without Borders, sorry. Thank you for this invite, and it's an honor to speak in here, and I'm open for any kind of discussion. So let me start again for myself. So I was a 14 years banker, and then I had stopped working in a bank. Together with Sandy, we are planning to build a company that can help growers in here as well to export their plants to other countries. So I've been working with plants, focusing on these last 3 years. Prior to that, I'm just a hobby. This is just a hobby. And during the Indonesia economic crisis of 1998, I had to sell some of my collection items. So I believe that plants can help our economic better. So yeah, become grower for the last 3 years focusing. And first I started as a family company. So I'm helped by my cousin and all the neighborhood in here. And also working with some cooperation real growers in Indonesia to provide plants for outside Indonesia. So here, I was asked by Mark to speak about how do we doing the export. First of all, the documents that need to be prepared is the phytosanitary certificate. It's a document that produced or being issued by the government, by our government, from the horticulture department, informing that the plant that we are going to sell outside is healthy and having the minimum requirement. So first time, nowadays we have the challenges that some of our plants having nematocide inside the root. So in order to avoid those, I'm using, sorry if there's any branding in here. So I'm using one of these chemical to avoid the nematocide and insect growing in our plants. Secondly, after we get all the phytosanitary certificate through a process that they are doing lab checking in our plants that we would like to send. So after the phytosanitary certificate issue, then we are preparing the plants to be packaged. So, sorry, I don't know how to share this, but probably you can see in here, I'm preparing the plants itself. So the plants need the root to be cleaned up. Can you see this, guy? So this one is just a sample. So we need to clean up all the roots from the soil. And we are putting the plants and the root using this vitamin B1. So if you can see, there's an alpha naphthalene acetic acid hormone. This will help plants getting survive during the shipment. So reduce the transplant shock. This is the local one. And probably you guys know from Southeast Asia, Thailand is the most better countries during export. So I'm also using the vitamin B1 from Thailand. You can
Hey,
use
Tito.
anything. Yeah.
Can you repeat that part where you were mentioning about the cleaning of the roots? What is the liquid that you were putting? I didn't catch that. Sorry. That one, the one that you were showing. Mhm. Oh, I think we lost it.
Oh.
It's because I didn't catch that. It was vitamin something. Sorry.
I think he said B12.
Okay, B12. I was just trying to get some information
B1.
also. Okay, B1.
Yeah, B1. So we
Thank
put
you.
the root in here in this liquid, and then we wrap. After that, we wrap the roots using the sphagnum moss. That also being put in the B1 itself, right? This is the moss, sphagnum moss that we are using. But nevertheless, we are not using this too much because sometimes they are too put. Having so much more water, so we are using this less. Then cover it with the toilet paper. We call it tissue in here. We wrap it with the plastic wrap, right? The plastic wrap. And how about the leaves itself? The leaf we cover it with a paper. With a paper. This one is to make sure that the plant's getting steady inside the box, so it's not moving anywhere. And then whenever you know some plants are getting out some waters when they are trying to make themselves humid, right? Papers help the water from the plant from the leaf absorb it and then make it keep dry. So it's not broke. Will not make it the plant is broken, the leaf itself. So after that, then we use after we put everything, the roots inside the moss, using moss, cover it with the moss with the tissue. We put in the plants itself in a box. You can use styrofoam box or cardboard box. So which one is easier for you? So that's how I do the packing of the plant itself. Any questions so far? Am I too fast? I guess that's very easy. Any growers that can share also the same that for your experience itself?
Tito, I have a question.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, I asked the BPI here in the Philippines, and they said that we need to bring the plants in the facility. In your place, is that the same?
Yeah, the plants that we are going to sell or send out, we bring them to their government facility. There are two options actually. There are two options. One, we bring them in the facility, or we invite all the officers here to take the sample. So,
yeah, but also the same with us. However, I'd like to ask how it will work. They said that they will put a sticker on the box for shipping. That the yeah.
Okay, so what happening?
They will certify it that the plants are already certified by the BPI.
Yeah. So what happened in Indonesia is that every time we would like to send the plants. For example, I would like to send this one. So the plant that we would like to send is the one that's becoming that will be checking by the government, by the officer, right? So we cannot put any other plant. So let's say I have another pot of this Castetianum. Let's say I would like to be treated, right? I like to be treated. This is healthy, then I send another plant. So yeah, so that will not be happen. You know why? Because our facility is also being inspected regularly by the government. So it's not only the plants, by our facility is also being inspected in regularly, like a monthly or bi-weekly. It depends on the frequency that how many we are doing exporting. So for big players, the inspection of facility, it will be like bi-weekly, right? So every twice a week, they will have this inspection. For me, since I'm still new, monthly they will inspect my facility. So they will taking some sampling. But nevertheless, whenever I do the do the export, they will checking again the plant's healthiness. So,
Okay, great.
so maintaining the plants healthy is one of the most important, right? I'm using many kind of chemical things. This one is for insect and also nematicide. I don't know how to spell it. Nematicide. So these are some small micro worm that cannot be seen by eyes. So it needs to be like having like a microscope to checking all this plant. So this one I'm using for my plants. I put it in the soil itself. So it keeps the plants healthy. So whenever I send another checking will be done by the government. So everything is ensured. But nevertheless, some countries are doing double checking. And yeah, errorness is happening. So that's why we are providing guarantee plans if the plans is being rejected or else by the imported countries.
That's great, Tito. Thank you.
Thank you. So I guess, Mark, that will be my part. It's very simple. I cannot do practice in here because I'm using only mobile.
Hello,
So-
Tito. It's me
Hi,
again.
Lisa.
I have a question. Actually, Adriana was asking, but I'm translating for her. Could you repeat the part where you are cleaning like the root? You say that you clean it with water and also the product that you show us. That purpose. What was the purpose for that? Can you repeat that part, please? Because I'm trying to translate to her, so I think I missed that part also.
Okay. The purpose of the cleanup of the roots is one, every imported countries doesn't want any soil in the roots. So in the why is the reason? Because in the soil sometimes there's a lot of pesticide, right? Pesticide, insect, or even nematicide. So we are cleaning that root for that purposes. We are adding some chemical that we are also putting whenever we are growing that. So, but nevertheless, this liquid to be anti-strice, reduce transparent chalk. This is the one that we are using, the last one. But other chemical is only during the planting. But also we are doing for some plant that we seeing that probably it's not to be good to be sent. So sometimes we are also using this, but it's only like putting them like for 1 hour in the water. It cannot get back too long because the plant can be shocked. Is that clear enough, Lisa? Sorry.
Yes, sorry, I was typing out to Adriana, but yes, I got it.
Yeah. I can send some videos that I promise also to Mark. Sometimes I
Oh,
will
that
create
would
a
be
video where,
and then I can translate her.
Yeah.
Awesome. No, but let's
I will do the video.
Uh-huh.
later on.
Okay, thank you.
You're most welcome.
Yeah, thank you, Tito.
Oh, Mark. Yeah, sure. Back to you, Mark.
And this information is going to be recorded, as I mentioned earlier, and we're going to put it into a knowledge base that everyone in the world will be able to access to, or will have access to. That way, the information will just be out there, and it'll be able to help a lot of people. Let me get that.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I have one question for Tito. Hello, can you guys hear me?
Yep, we can
I
hear
can
you.
hear you.
Yeah, hi. My name is Cecil from the Philippines. So, going back to the packaging, you said that you are putting moss and tissue paper and paper itself, right? So I just want to ask, how long is it okay to be I mean, when you put those, or when you put the plant and the paper and the tissue and the moss, is it good for how many days?
Okay, my experience during the shipment, the longest time was like 20 days, but 20 days only 50% plant is surviving. So, and another one I have also experienced in 10 days. So 10 days, some plants is getting survived. Again, it's depend on the plant's type, right? So plants with big roots can survive more than the plants that having like small roots, right? You know the different like Calathea. Calathea is having very small roots like haze. They will not survive more than 5 days, right? But like this one, Monstera, they have bigger roots, or Anthuriums, they will survive longer. My experience, 20 days is 50% plants will be survived, but it would be better to have less than that. So for that, we need to choose a shipment company that provide faster.
Yeah, like 3 to 5 days.
The best one is using air cargo, right? Air cargo is only 1 day shipment to US, but again, for air cargo is only port to port. So buyer or importer needs to have another cost to make the plants outside the port itself.
For rush, right?
Yeah. So I hope that answered your question.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Tito. Anyone else have any questions? So we are looking for suppliers that have aeroids in stock and are growing them. We found out that these are probably the most popular type of plant right now, and especially in the Pacific Northwest, San Francisco, these types of plants are really hot. So we've got a global sales team of 8 people that are already calling customers in the United States. And the supply is short for rare tropical plants, and we're looking for suppliers to meet that demand. So we're going to choose one supplier from each country that we import from, and this is going to be done by July 1st. Right now we have an online store that's live that people can buy cuttings from, and eventually we're going to expand vertically with a grow op based in the United States that receives the imported cuttings. Those cuttings are then going to be rehabilitated and shipped to the customer. So if you're interested in working with us to import your plants into the United States, we'd be happy to hear from you. You can send me an email and we'll set up a meeting to discuss the terms here. Basically your inventory, we'll negotiate a contract, we'll find out what compliance procedures need to be followed, and then we'll take the time to do it right. So this demand is going to be here for a long time. It's a viable market. So we want to make sure that we're taking all the steps that we need to do it the right way. I saw Plantas y Jardines de Honduras had a question, or did you just unaccidentally mute yourself? Okay. Does anyone else have any questions or anything to share?
Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes, hello. I'm Luis. I'm from Honduras, Plantas y Jardines from Honduras. And we have a nursery since in 1995. With business is a family business. And okay, I want to tell you that my English is not so good, but I'll try to explain you about our business. And we produce plants, ornamental plants, fruit plants, and well, okay, I am interested in the export plants and maybe I was watching about the types of plant that you wrote in the email, and maybe when I think that we can produce some plants, and I am searching about it.
All right. We will follow up with you. Glad to hear that you're interested. And don't worry about your English. I think that's another inefficient thing to just have to learn a different language to sell your products in another country.
Well, I think English is not the good words. I mean, we need to use the plants words.
I can also translate if you want plantas y jardines. I speak it, so I can do the translation if you want to. Hablo español.
¿Yo hablo español?
Sí, así que si deseas que traduzca, no hay problema. También está Carlos, hablamos español.
Sí, correcto, yo creo que lo contacté, no hay problema por eso. Así que
Claro.
nosotros, puedes contar con nosotros y nuestro apoyo para decirte todo lo que ellos digan.
Ah, ok.
Sí, no hay problema.
Sí, por ejemplo, vaya, tengo preguntas como, por ejemplo, nosotros trabajamos en lo que les decía, en plantas ornamentales, frutales, y yo sé que en los tipos de plantas que miré, hay unas que de acuerdo a nuestra área se adaptan muy bien. Algunas las producimos, pero otras no, pero igual, al ustedes querer que nosotros produzcamos, pues tenemos el área, el agua, todo eso. Bueno, tal vez invernaderos, pues podemos empezar a construir más y todo eso, pero bueno, ahí podemos hablar y ustedes me dicen de repente qué plantas en sí, bueno, yo les puedo decir más bien mediante el correo qué plantas estaríamos dispuestos nosotros a producir y también ver qué cantidad y todo eso.
Sí, correcto, con gusto. No me puede escribir a mí o en caso también a Lisa. Yo fui el que lo contacté. No sé si me recuerdo por ahí. Yo soy Carlos Taufoy. En todo caso, nosotros estamos justamente discutiendo eso, estamos viendo los procesos. Ya tuvimos una etapa inicial en la que Marc Javier, en este caso, que es el fundador de Plan CC, y actualmente Plants, ahorita se me olvidó el nombre, pero...
Without
Borders, exacto. Entonces, nosotros estamos ahorita cambiando el nombre a Plants Without Borders. Y inicialmente arrancamos ahorita en Indonesia, que se hicieron unas exportaciones de plantas hacia los Estados Unidos y estamos viendo que todo ha salido muy bien. Entonces, ahora estamos viendo cómo son todos los procesos que se van a llevar a cabo, conociendo los tipos de plantas que se pueden exportar, los permisos con los que podemos apoyarlo ustedes también y la cantidad que ustedes también pueden producir en ese tiempo determinado.
Excelente. ¿Está bien? No, muchas gracias. Yo creo que pues vale la pena y yo voy a estar
seguro. So you can go ahead.
Y pues todo eso es interesante, la parte también importante la parte necesita mucha licencia, permisos, todo eso. ¿Sabe? La parte fitosanitaria. ¿Verdad?
Sí, exacto. Nosotros no tenemos ningún tipo de barrera, como le indicamos, esa barrera que mucha gente nos presentan como la barrera del inglés. Bueno, para eso estamos nosotros, en todo caso, para ayudarlos a todos los productores y a todos los que hacen este tipo de comercio, pues nosotros los entendemos y para eso estamos, para apoyarlos.
Ok. Listo. Gracias.
Yeah, so the whole idea behind this was a United Nations style consortium of growers. So next time we'll be doing it over Zoom probably, and we'll have some really seamless translation that'll probably be really cool for you guys. So if nobody else has any questions, or does anyone have any questions before we wrap up?
Mark, I put in the chat to offer sharing some of the pictures of the roots that from the plants that Tito sent, and some folks in the chat agreed that they would like to see it. Can I share my screen and show the pictures?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. So for other growers who are in the room, I'm going to be showing y'all pictures of the roots that Tito sent, the roots on the plants that Tito sent, so that you can kind of get an idea for how he packaged the roots, what it looked like when he wrapped it in toilet paper. So let me get this ready. Can y'all see my screen? Okay.
Yes.
All right, so feel free to take a screenshot. I can also send these photos to Mark so that he can send it to the growers who said they were interested in seeing this. But you can see here, this is the root ball. It's wrapped in tissue paper, and beneath that was sphagnum moss. And here's just an idea of how clean the roots were. So absolutely spotless, no soil on it at all. I had removed the sphagnum moss from the roots in this photo, but you can see there's no remnants of soil at all on them. So you really got to clean them and not have any soil, because that will prevent them from getting through customs. That's all. I'll stop sharing my screen now. But I'll send these pictures to Mark so that he can pass them off to any growers who are interested in seeing these photos.
Well, all right. Any last questions before we wrap up? Anyone have anything to share?
I was looking forward to have some plants from Colombia, right?
Oh yeah, I forgot to mention that. So another aspect of this co-op is that the growers can trade with each other, and I think that would be super beneficial, especially where you don't have some plants in some areas, and some places they have a lot of them. So it seemed like a no-brainer to me. I'm glad to see that demand's there.
Yeah, Mark, and also probably a suggestion for me, Plants Without Borders can also help us. I mean, if somebody in United States, like, would like to have thousands of specific plants, probably you can also spread out within among us, so we can help each other also growing for you, grow them for you, for Plants Without Borders, right?
Yeah. Do you mean like a specific nursery or wholesale nursery here that you'd be providing a constant supply for?
Yeah. I mean, if they would like to have some more specific, like 1 or 2 plants to be growing in, to be like faster grow, right? So you definitely you will need help from growers, right? So probably, I don't know, among us it can split like plantas. How do I spell that? Plantas jardins, right? Like 1,000 in plantas jardin, 1,000 in my nurseries, 1,000 in another growers in other countries, and then we help Plants Without Borders to provide the stock for the plant for the growers in the United States.
That's a great point. So we're essentially aggregating the supply and then being able to offer that to nurseries in the United States in a predictable way. It's a huge value add, because right now, call a nursery owner, chances are they're not even going to know where to import from, like who to contact, and they don't have enough time to go through all the steps that we have. So if they're able to put in an order 3, 4, 5 months in advance, that's a way for them to reduce their risk, because they'll know that they're going to get those plants on that day. It's going to be this size, going to be in this container, and you're making it more predictable for the businesses here in the United States. So I'm really excited to see where this goes. Thanks all for taking some time out of your evening to chat with us. And feel free to reach out if you have any questions. We're all available.
Thanks, Mark. Thanks, Tim. Thanks, Jessica, and others. Look forward to working again ahead for more, for sure. Stay healthy, guys.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you. Nice
Good morning,
meeting everyone.
Thank you very much.